Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Guini, and we are out in Woodbine, New Jersey at Larry's Diner. So there is a classic car show out here. It doesn't look too big because it's not a really big area, but there's some pretty cool looking cars I can see just kind of in the back over there. There's like a purple, I don't think you can really see it over here. You might not be able to see it from here. It looks like there's a purple rotted, I don't know if it's a Ford model, A Model T or something, or something from the 1930s or late 20s or something. But in any case, we're gonna go and kind of walk around and see what kind of cars we have out here. This shouldn't be a very a long video, but anyway, I thought it was worth coming out here and just kind of taking a look. But all right, let's get right to it. Listen to that engine. Damn, listen. That's sweet. Hey, I like your ride, man. Thank you. Yep. Beautiful. That Fox body. All right. Let's get it. All right. That's good.
Probably gonna take the top down later.
Oh, really sweet, man. Yeah. So the owner said he's gonna take the top down. This is a stunner. Look at this. I love the British flag on there. Isn't that sweet? The UK flag. And then they got the pinstrip, the black pinstrip down there, MGB. So this is a 78 MGB. Let's walk around this baby. I love the front. Doesn't the front of this give you Alfa Romeo vibes a little bit? So I kind of wonder if this, this was influenced by Alfa Romeo or vice versa. It could be the other way around. So, get some English car fans ticked off at me for saying that. But in any case, this is a nice, lovely car. Let's go look at the inside of it. So we got the decorations over there, but look at how small it is in here, and that's not a bad thing at all. I'm just noting, just compared to some of the bigger American cars, this is completely the opposite. This is actually much smaller, but look at the dash. I love that shifter. Isn't that sweet? And the steering wheel, and then the dash. Let's go on the other side and take a look. So I just love the front of this car, though. I don't know, I love the lights. But anyway, let's go around and let's take a look. Get a close look at that dash. So I just love the straight analog, and you have the it's very different from the American cars, where the American cars typically will have more like a flat dash that just runs all the way across just the entirety of the car, the width of the car, and it's just different materials and everything. So this looks like, I don't know if it's a kind of a leather or something, I can't really tell, but it's an interesting display on the dash, and yeah, very, very lovely. And then you got the back over here. I think what really impresses me most about this car, it's its size. It's small, but it still has presence. I mean, there's nothing really overly complicated about the design. Like, you look at the lights, they're pretty straightforward. They're kind of pointed upward, but I mean, the car just has a certain kind of presence, even for not being really big. Like, the American cars are just so much bigger and imposing, and this car is not big at all. It's quite the opposite, but the car still has some presence. And you got kind of the wheels there too. So yeah, I think this car just has a lot of presence to it. But yeah, definitely a lovely car. So I kind of get the feeling that people might be leaving, so I'm just gonna do a quick walk around and just get, oh, look at that. Wow, oh my goodness, that is so mean. I'm gonna have to come back and talk about that, but I'm just gonna kind of walk around here and just get some of these. This is a Fox body you got here. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is not a big event, but this, again, every single event I go to, I just see something unique. Like, look at this. I've never seen anything like that before. So let's just kind of keep walking around here. Look at that. Look at that color. Oh, that is sick. I love that. That purple. That's definitely a different color. I haven't seen that. Look at this baby here. So this is what I love about coming to these events. Every single time, you just see something different. Oh, look at this. Wow, beautiful. So just gonna kind of walk down. I'm gonna get this side first, and I'm just gonna come back up. So I'm just gonna walk around and just kind of get these cars here.
$5,000 miles looks like.
365,000 on there. Wow, yeah, look at that. So you're saying this wasn't a Toyota engine, or what were you?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, just to show you how old, what does that say on there? If you can read that.
Toyota with a D.
D,
With a D, yes. Interesting. Wow, all right. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Toyota, all right.
Now, this engine is an inline 6.
Right.
It's the same engine that General Motors made as late as the 40s.
Right.
During the Second World War, they left stuff behind in Japan.
Yeah.
Toyota copied them,
Yeah.
improved it, but essentially, I think it's like 237 cubic inch,
Yeah.
inline 6. My father had an old Chevy station wagon when I was a kid, same engine.
Okay. Oh,
This,
wow.
this year, they fuel inject, first year for fuel injection, so it's more modern, it's
Yeah.
modernized.
Yeah.
But again, it's the same. It's essentially the same as the General Motors, old school, been around forever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If
Yeah.
you see, the clamps are all old, original style type of clamps.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. So check this out. This is the original Arakawa auto body, basically. You can see some of the Japanese writing on there too, but that's really interesting. And then look at this interior. I'm gonna get more of that in a second though. So check out this. So basically, I was talking to the owner who was very kind enough to kind of go over the car with me. This is the 88 Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser. Look at the color on this thing. So that sun's getting in the way. Let me go over here. So this is not a normal red. What's the name of that red again?
Freeborn red.
This is a Freeborn red. So I've been to a lot of car shows this year, and I had not seen. This is what I love about the car shows. I always see something different. So going back to this car, I have never seen a Freeborn red. And most of the cars, Toyota Land Cruisers are like green and white, and like that's more of your common color. But they didn't make too many. They didn't make too many of these. Actually, very limited production number of these in Freeborn red. So this is something else. Really, really stunning. So, kind of a couple things I want to point out with the interior of this Toyota Land Cruiser is you have this bar over here. So it's almost like this bar is almost intended for you to hold on to as added security. Let's say if you're off-roading or something. And then check these out. So the owner actually put these on, but the holes are already pre-drilled, so it's still staying OEM, but you have a number of places where you can hang on to if you're going off-roading. And the owner even said that he's taken this car off-roading quite a bit. He's driven this thing in the snow. This car is not a garage queen. Yes, he kind of garages it now and goes to events, but this car has been driven. And let me just point out, look at the condition of this car. Whoops, I almost tripped over look at the condition of this car. So this car is in really, really good condition, and it has in fact been driven. So let me go back inside here. So you also check this out. Check this armrest out over here. So the armrest on this car is very low, and it's really not too ergonomically the best case here. So what he did was he kind of created this here, and he drilled it down over here. So when he's driving, he can put his armrest a little bit higher up. So imagine him sitting over there, and he has his arm up over here. So it's a little bit more comfortable. It's kind of cool. This car is definitely very versatile in that respect. But let's take a look at this dash. Look, he's got the CB over here, so this is so cool. And then we go to the dash here, and it gets very straight up 80s, straight from the 80s. Look, check this out over here. Look at this. You'll never see this anymore. So you got like the whole just the manual controls for the air conditioning, and then you got the tape deck. This kind of brings back nostalgia, because I used to record a lot of music on videotapes, and just having all the tapes with the labels on them, like I label my tapes. It just brings back a lot of nostalgia. And look at the seats. The interior looks actually pretty nice. This is a very nice looking interior. Check out the back here. And I actually do like this material here. This is all the same. This is OEM also?
No, that is not. I put that in.
Okay, all right.
And those wheel arches.
Yeah.
They are expandable carpet from England. That's made in England.
No kidding. Cool.
So they're plastic in them.
Yeah. But check out what the owner did here. Look at that. So this is a 1988 Toyota FJ62 Land Cruiser, and you got the it's almost like a whole timeline of pictures here.
I got it recent.
This is beautiful.
And it was.
So now we're looking at the toolkit here. So look at that. So you're all prepared. It's just funny because I know a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people with modern cars, they're so computerized, and we just kind of tend to rely on AAA or some other outside service to kind of, help you when you're in trouble. But it looks like, you got all the tools. You got the double-sided, wrench there. Look at this, wow. I think what I really like about this is, what we were talking about earlier, I think when you own a car like this, a classic, and you really get into the car, you really learn intimately about the car, like all the details about the car, and you have a tool to here. So let's say if you got into trouble, right away, you think you're going to be prepared, you get the tool set out, you go, you fix a flat, you do everything yourself. And that's kind of unheard of today, because I think most people today call AAA up, you just kind of rely on outside sources. Nothing wrong with that, but I mean, I just think there's something to be said about being able to, just completely understand your car. I think one big advantage too, before I get into that, that is the compartment where the tools are. It's kind of cool. It just fits all right in here, and you got the fire extinguisher too. So I think what I just want to say about this is that, the more you learn about the car, the less other mechanics can fool you into thinking you might need certain things or certain work on the car. Because this happens a lot. A lot of people buy these cars and they have to go and trust a dealer, and they have to rely on reviews on, various shops if they're going to get their car taken to a shop or something. But I think the more you learn about the car, then the more educated you become about how it works, and the less you can be fooled by, certain shops that want to take advantage of unsuspecting owners. So this is a
supplier in Australia.
Supplier in Australia, yep.
Australia's got millions. It's very popular in Australia.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of cool is I just love how the owner took the time to really kind of look for the right suppliers and everything, because you can just go in Google and just jump to the first thing. Oh, I need a part. It's almost like you took your time looking for something where it's going to be cost effective, but also get the right parts. So kudos to you for that. And so this company kind of specializes in the Toyota parts, basically.
Yeah.
So that's at least you're getting good parts then. So
yeah.
That's good. Cool. What's this over here? You have Overland.
They make products. I think clothing.
Okay.
They're into Land Cruiser, and they into overlanding. You're traveling.
Okay. Oh, cool.
All over the world.
That's cool. All right. So the owner also has. He's also a member of I Hate Mud. So I believe this is a off-roading company. I'm gonna have to go and look that up. But he spoke very highly about them, so I'm gonna check that out. And then you also have the Toyota Land Cruiser Association as well. And he had mentioned he had taken this car to Vermont a lot of times. He's got the Vermont sticker on here too. I'm going to pan down over here and just look at these wheels. I just love how shiny these wheels are. And I love the Toyota emblem right on the center of the hubs there. So this is really cool though. But I just love how everything is just kind of kept OEM.
Well, you can lock it, it's manual.
Yeah, so one other thing to point out that people might not really, just might take for granted. Bear in mind that everything is pretty much, technologically, computerized and whatnot, but everything is manual. So basically, you pretty much have to manually go and take that off. And yeah, everything about this car is pretty much, almost everything is manual. I mean, the one thing I forgot to mention with the engine, I think he might have mentioned it, it is fuel injection. So I just want to go back to the interior here. I just want to get a shot of the interior just from the driver's side. So you got the Land Cruiser steering wheel, and you have like the retro 80s dash on here. And I was talking about this earlier. You can pan out a little bit. And then kind of over on the side, this is this part which kind of got me nostalgic. If you grew up in the 80s like I did, then all this here is going to bring back some nostalgia. So one other thing I want to mention, not specifically about this car, but about some of the previous models, there actually was a crank on here. So if the battery died, you would actually take the crank and just rotate it, I believe counterclockwise, and then that would actually start the battery up. Isn't that cool? So you wouldn't even have like jumper cables on it. There actually was a crank to start the car up. And I actually like panning on here because I just love the front of this car. I mean, it's just so straight retro. When you see like the Toyota on there, you look at the grill, look at the squirrel lights. This is something straight from the 80s. This definitely ain't 90s, ain't 2000s, certainly ain't modern day. This is something straight from the 80s, and this is what I really appreciate. And I also think the color goes so well on this car. And actually, you can probably see up here, 375,000 miles. So congratulations to the owner on that, getting this beautiful, gorgeous Toyota Land Cruiser, 375,000 miles. I gotta pan out on this again. I just love I love this red on this car. I have not seen. You know, the funny thing is the only car I have seen with a color that's kind of close to this, you're gonna laugh at this, is the McLaren 765 LT. Yes, a McLaren 765 LT. I saw that in Newark, Delaware, and it had a really sick looking color on it, and this color kind of reminds me of that. So of course, rely on me to go and bring, compare it to an exotic. But anyway, yeah, beautiful color. So it was funny. So the owner was mentioning something about how this car, the design of this car, I'm talking about the chassis, is very square and kind of rectangular, and that's kind of how it was, kind of back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, somewhere around there. Like if you notice, like kind of in the 90s and 2000s, the car started becoming more like aerodynamic looking. Like a classic example is the Corvette. A lot of the Corvettes became more streamlined. Like the 80s Corvette was kind of more like, it had like the big hump in the front. I mean, I wouldn't say it was square, but it was kind of more jaggedy, for lack of a better term. And then in the 2000s, it became more streamlined. It became kind of more refined. So now it looks like this square look is coming back. And a classic example of that, you're gonna laugh at this, the new Ferrari F80. So there's something called the what is it called, the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. That's McLaren, Ferrari, and Porsche. So basically, McLaren came out with a new car called the W1. Porsche has a new car called the Mission X, and now Ferrari has a car called the F80. Look it up, the F80, and I can swear that car actually looks more square, has more square and rectangular elements in it than it did before. Like the previous cars, again, were more streamlined. Like the LaFerrari is kind of more streamlined and a little more sleek and aerodynamic. This car actually does look more like a car. It almost like calls back some elements from the 80s. And going back to this Toyota here, it looks like the elements on these cars now are also kind of going back more to 80s. Like everything kind of goes in cycles. I just stole the owner's words, but I just kind of wanted to point that out. But anyway, very beautiful car, and I thank the owner very much for taking me through this car. So check out this gorgeous, stunning Jaguar. Look at this thing. This is beautiful. You want to hear a funny story? So as I was pulling in here, I kind of pulled up in here. I was looking for a parking spot, and I was driving up over here, and I was trying to get my Ford Explorer through here. I almost said Toyota 4Runner because I had a Toyota 4Runner, and we were just talking about a Toyota, that Land Cruiser over there. So I was trying to go through here, and I could tell the owner lady was ticked off. She's like, no, don't. Like, was firm about me not coming through here. And I just say, hey, look, I love classic cars. I love cars in general. I'm not gonna go and I don't want to whack your beautiful Jaguar. So I went over here. I backed up and I kind of parked behind that pickup over there. I think that's where I parked. Anyway, let's get back to this. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. Now I want to pan in on here. So look at this thing. Now this is what I'm talking about. I went to an event called the British Car Club of Delaware. I'm not sure what that was the event called. That was the name of the club. And here you see that wooden paneling. A lot of the cars I saw over there had your typical British kind of wooden paneling. And just look at the wood paneling across the entire dash. That I have not seen, because typically you'll see like the paneling solely on the gauge cluster is what I've typically seen. I can't really recall, maybe I'm wrong, seeing the whole entire dash made of wood. Now I don't know if this is OEM or if this is something that was done afterwards, but I mean, in any case, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then look at the seats here. They kind of have the maroon colored seats over here, but I gotta pan on this. This dash is absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, yeah. Here's the back of the car, Jaguar, and it's a MK2. I love the vanity plate, the old cat. So this is beautiful. I do want to talk to the owner a little bit. Maybe I'll find her and talk to her a little later on. But this is, oh guys, I just love this. I love the red. I love the shape of this car. I love the wheels on this thing. Yeah, this is beautiful. Quick, I gotta. God, that Mustang sounds so nasty. So there's a Ford Fairlane I'm going to talk about here real quick. I just gotta get this guy pulling out here. I think he's a stalker, but who cares? Oh God, listen to that engine. Oh, he's back. He's parked. Okay, he's up pulling up. He's parking. All right. I'm gonna stop recording now. Here we have a 1963 Ford Fairlane. And anyway, just a little history about the Fairlane. So basically, Henry Ford and his wife lived in Dearborn, Michigan, and there was either a street or a section called Fairlane, and that's how they got the name for the Ford Fairlane. And these cars were produced, I think, roughly from 1955 to 1970. And one really important point about this car, the 57 one, was that was the first time that Ford actually outproduced Chevy. Yeah, they were the leading manufacturer basically because of the Fairlane. So let's take a walk around this. So this is a beautiful, like a bright orange kind of reddish basically, and it has your traditional trim on it that kind of cuts across the whole, that runs across the whole side of the car. And then again, look at the back over here. Look, he's got, what in the heck is that? I'm gonna have to ask the owner about that. What is, I don't know what, it's cool looking. I just don't know what it is. That is so cool. Is that, I don't know if that looks like something from like a freaking fantasy movie or something, or like, looks like the Never-Ending Story, whatever that, Falcor? I don't know. I'm getting off topic, showing my age here. Anyway, let's pan back out here. So you got the back here, the back, and look at, notice the lights. You got the round lights on here. I don't know why this car gives me Christine vibes, so I shouldn't say that. But anyway, yeah. So you have the elongated back here and everything, and but yeah, this is a really beautiful, stunning car. Ford Fairlane definitely was a game changer back in the day. Yeah, no, it definitely looks cool. I was trying to figure, is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it a coyote?
I don't know what it is. I think it's a goat. I don't know.
Maybe a goat. It could be a goat. Who knows?
Looks like a goat.
You ever see a movie called The Never-Ending Story? Do you remember that
No.
movie? There was a like a movie from 1984. It was like a fantasy, a sci-fi fantasy movie called Never-Ending Story. This kid reads this book, and the book kind of comes to life. And the whole movie is about like him reading the book. And there was a character called Falcor. It's like this flying dragon-looking thing. And I was trying to figure out maybe if that was Falcor, maybe
Yeah,
the
I
smaller
have no
version of
idea
Falcor.
what it is. I just thought it was pretty neat.
It's
looking.
cool. Yeah, you got it.
Just-
Yeah, you got to put like somebody sitting in the back there
You
chilling
know
out.
what it was? The glasses are like
Yeah.
the same color as my car, so I thought it would be
Yes, that's it. There was something about that was definitely, you know.
different.
So the big difference in this car, the 63, is that it has this wing here. Now, at previous car shows, I pointed this out. This kind of wing that really kind of makes the car stand out, and it's such a different design. Like, I think again, these the American classics are just known to be very large and very imposing and you know, just coveted. Everybody wanted these cars. Just a little bit about Volkswagen, for example. Like, Volkswagen had to use humor and actually, I wouldn't say put their cars down, but kind of joke in a way about how, like, you know, their cars were just kind of cheap or what have you, just to get into the market, because they couldn't compete with the American cars, because everybody wanted these big, beautiful, imposing cars. Look at the design elements. You have you have kind of the pointy element over here on both sides here, and you have this gorgeous trim on here. I believe stainless steel. So I think definitely Ford. Yes. Yeah, stainless steel. I think Ford also discovered vanadium as well. I think I know Ford was really big on the materials and everything, and also with his cars, his factories were he was very well known for, like, you know, basically he wanted the workers to be happy, because his
Even this.
oh, look at that. Wow, I'm getting a little hands on the history. Look, I have never pointed this out. I don't even think I even picked that up. That's really cool looking. So look at the attention to detail on this. So you have, I'm guessing this piece is also stainless steel here.
Yeah, it's all stainless steel.
That's phenomenal. Again, these cars are just not built like this anymore. You don't see the same attention to detail. So one other thing I want to point out, like, for example, in Europe, like a lot of the buildings in Europe, for example, I'm going to pan here, are, you know, were meant to, like, you know, were built with the cultural elements of the time. Like, for example, the Pantheon was very, very big inside, and it was meant to represent the Roman Empire. Well, this is kind of a crazy analogy I'm making. Look at these cars here. Look at the attention to detail. Look at the materials. I think this is supposed to symbolize American pride and American workmanship. That, you know, these cars use very, very high quality materials. They were built with a lot of attention to detail. And I think these cars were meant to make a statement. Like, the cars now, and I'm not necessarily knocking the cars now. I mean, the cars now have a purpose too. I think they're more meant for you know, cost savings, convenience, commercialization, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, these cars here, I think, were meant to, like, you know, tickle sort of a nerve and tickle sort of a desire with the owner. And that these cars do symbolize, like, individualism, and these cars symbolize, you know, like, again, the size of the car. America is big. America's up and coming and powerful, and America has, you know, uses very high quality materials in the cars. At least back in the day they did. So that's my little spiel. Interior now. So this kind of, I was looking at an MG earlier, and the MG was a lot smaller. Look at the size of this. Look at how grandiose this is. So you'll notice the gauge cluster on the side over there. The gauges are recessed. And even this whole dash here, it's kind of angled back, and I kind of wonder if that's just to really just kind of highlight the size of this the interior. So this is so roomy. Look at the size of the steering wheel. Again, the very large steering wheel, and you'll notice that how the dash matches the color of the car on the outside. So again, this is kind of common from the cars in the 50s and 60s where you see the dash match the car, but it's just beautiful. Look at the, I'm going to pan it on here. Check out the let me go back one. Check out the paneling on the side of the door. Look at the attention to detail. You have like almost like three different, like actually four different elements. You got like the stainless steel of the top portion. You have again the stainless steel trim, that silver trim on there with the details. Then you have sort of that, like I guess sort of the leather, the beige, and then at the bottom you have the beige without the line elements there. So you have so many different. You have at least four different design elements just on that door alone. So it just goes to show just how much detail went into these cars.
It's like it's gone.
Yeah, so we're talking about the wing here. So this is the 63, and the model after that, right, the 64.
64 does not
is
have
the Thunderbolt. It does not have this wing, so it's kind of important to note that, because that's what kind of makes this car a little more unique than the other Fairlanes. So this 63 model had the wing over here. So one of the it just again shows not only the attention to detail in the car, but attention to detail over the years that they were produced. Because they could have just made the same car over and over again. I mean, the car, I'm sure the car sold like crazy. If Ford wanted to, he could have been like, oh, I'm just going to duplicate the same car. He didn't. He just took the Fairlane, he took the wing off of it and tried something different. So it just shows how versatile Ford was with making these cars. Okay, so one other thing about this car, of course, everything is stock on this. And owner's going to start it up for me. Very nice of the owner to do that. But we're going to listen to this beautiful, gorgeous car start up. I'm going to keep my mouth shut now so we can hear it. All right, he's doing his thing there. We got our Falco-looking guy in the sitting in the back. So didn't that sound amazing? So you got the raised hood on here too, and you got these vents over here. So this is also kind of unique too. Again, this is a really interesting car here though. It just goes to show, just again, like I was saying earlier, how versatile Ford was and just how creative he was in making this car, or having this car made. I hate to say I gotta check my history. I don't know, it doesn't really matter, because I know Edsel Ford was the president at one time, either vice president or president, but he really didn't do much. It was Ford that was running the company at the time, because Ford wanted to keep everything, you know, in his name basically. So anyway, check this out. We got a 1965 Mustang Coupe over here. So I was getting footage earlier just because the car sounded so badass. I had to get footage, even though I was in the middle of actually talking about the Fairlane, but I got distracted by this by the 65 Coupe here, just from the engine. So look at this. Oh, this is freaking nasty looking engine. Look at that. Look at that bar on top of it. This is beautiful. So I'm gonna kind of pan around here and just get this car. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at that interior. Wow. Very different from the Fairlane, but look how big it is. And just this is different because this car, you don't really have the dash angled out like in the Fairlane. This one, you have like the top part of the dash, you have a large space on top of here, but then it's recessed. The rest of the dash is recessed back. So that, again, that's kind of like gives the impression of a lot of room. And then you have that kind of that horizontal speedometer. I'm going to go on the other side over here. Let's look at the let's check out the interior here. Just straight black. Love it. Look at that. The nice thick black seats here. And then look at that. I just love that straight up, that strips speedometer. You just have, like a lot of the other cars, you know, have multiple gauges on here. You just have that one long gauge, the speedometer. So again, it's very imposing. And then you have the two gauges on the side there. It's a unique design, but I think it's just meant to make the car more imposing. So even the interior of this car, very imposing. You just have that straight horizontal speedometer on there. And then just on the other side there, you have the Mustang emblem over there. And I love the steel elements here, and then you kind of have the cup holders here. So again, that's what I really love about this interior. It's very simplistic, but it's very big. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's all about being imposing and badass, and that's what I love about it. I'm gonna pan out here because this car is just absolutely stunning to look at. I love the black. I mean, this, you know, yeah, this car, you could certainly have this car in a different color, but it wouldn't give the same vibe. I mean, I think it would still look good in a different color, but I just love it in black. I think the black goes well with the stainless steel, with the steel elements, the silver of steel elements. You know, if the guy's a Raiders fan, maybe that's even better. But anyway, no, I'm joking. But what do you call it? I just think, to me, the black kind of makes the car look more imposing. And when you listen to the car, when you listen to the exhaust of the car, you know, it just adds the imposing feature of it. So let's kind of go to the front. He's popped the hood for us too. I'll put it down. And you have like the raised hood on there, and you have the intakes kind of on the front, whereas on the Fairlane, the intakes or where the vents are on the back. But in any case, yeah, this is just a stunning car. I love the color elements on this one here. I love the red and the black here. So this is probably not OEM. I'd be surprised if it is, but let's kind of go around here and take a look here. Yeah, wow, I love the wheels. I love like the red on the wheels on the hubs over there. Very lovely. So it's kind of panning on here. And again, I'm gonna guess this car's got to be from the 30s or something. I love like the red dash. I kind of wonder if this car was red or something, because typically you have the dash kind of match the outside of the car. I could be wrong, but yeah, look at the door handles. I like this. It doesn't have the crazy paneling as that Fairlane did. It's very simplistic, but it's just beautiful. Look at the red elements on the upper part, and then just on the door handles. Look at that. You got just kind of the red elements on there as well, and then you have the kind of stainless steel on the handles. So that's a nice design feature. So check this out. Check this out. So that right there is, I guess, the fitting or the spot for the crank to start the car up. Isn't that cool? So we're looking at a Ford Model A here. So if this is the model that came after the Model T. This is the one where basically Henry Ford was pressured, you know, by his son and by everybody else that, hey, look, you know, you can't stick with the Model T for too long because the competition's catching up to you now. So that kind of made him go come up with the Model A. So this is the stunner, and this car goes at least 65 miles an hour as advertised. 65 miles an hour into 1931 Model A. Oh yes, look at this. No joke. This is straight up 1930s. Look at that. And you have that. Oh my goodness, that is so retro. And you know what's funny is that, you know, you look at all these like cars from the 50s and how fancy they were, and you know, and this is just nothing at all fancy about this. This is very simplistic, very plain. This is pretty much, you know, very in the early part of the you know, industrial age. I was gonna say industrial age. I don't want to mix up my history at all, but again, I guess what I'm trying to point out is that I guess I'm seeing a really stark difference between the 50s design and the 30s, which isn't surprising. I mean, this is definitely a lot more simplistic, but it's just so cool to see just how straight up retro and just how vintage that is. So just getting more footage of this beautiful 1931 Model A, and look what the owner did here. Look at this. It's got the cutlery over there. I like that. I think this kind of yeah, he had a little bit of like little storage space in here, little storage in the back. This is look at this. This is a decent amount of storage for a car like this. So I think it just goes to show how we have a call coming in here, but I'm going to ignore it for now. What do you call it? It just goes to show just how innovative Henry Ford was. I got to answer this call. So it's funny. I actually had my mom was calling me while I was recording, but anyway, I just kind of want to point out this nice job the owner did with this cutlery over here, and just kind of adds just to the element of the car. But I was pointing out, actually, I didn't even see this here. Look at this. Check this out over here. I think, could you actually sit back here? Yeah, this is actually, I didn't even realize this is actually a seat. So I think this is actually that's interesting. Wow. All right. So all right, I'm gonna have to look up this car because I'm just trying to figure out the design elements. I'll ask the owner about. So I was gonna ask about the back of the car, but before I do so, I'm gonna get the motor here. This is a really cool looking motor over here, and also it's kind of interesting. This whole how the motor opens up is interesting. So I think that might be different from the Model T as well. Check this out. So this is what I thought. That's why I stumbled, because I'm thinking to myself, did Ford actually make a seat outside? So I was looking at this thing and I'm confused, because this top comes up and goes over here. It just goes up over the main cabin area. But this is not part of the main cabin. It's actually a seat. So I think it also, I don't know. Yeah, you know, I take it back. This actually isn't storage space. I don't think this is actually a seat. You probably could use it for storage. But in any case, this actually is a seat. You're sitting outside while while the car's driving in the back. So that is wild, man. That is absolutely wild. So I don't have too much time, so I'm gonna have to go through this a little quick. But yeah, look at this gorgeous Chevy, man. Look at this. Look at the color on this thing. Look at the front of that. Look at the nose of this car too. This nose is so imposing. Let's go inside now because it's the interior that I want to talk about here. You got the really plush seats over here. I shouldn't touch, but look at the plush seating on here. Oh, look at that dash! Wow, look at the stainless steel. Look at the again, attention to detail. The paneling on the dash, isn't that stunning? Look at that, and just it's so big too. Let me go on the other side real quick. So that's one other thing I like about this car. You got kind of the rounded off back here. It's kind of cool. And I shouldn't make this comparison. I keep thinking the AMG GT Pro, the Mercedes, has that kind of bubbly back. I guess I kind of bring it up because, hold on.
How you doing? So, come to the end of Route 49, take a right, and like you go up to the shore, you'll see us about half mile down on the
Look at that dash. So I'm just gonna continue on while the guy's talking, but I kind of want to get this over here. Let me see if I can pan it on it. Oh, that's a little too close. Let me get it on one. That's good. So that it looks a little bit different. All right. Let me pan back out. So I was having a little trouble panning in on that part of the dash over there, but it looks different actually. I mean, it almost looks like different material. I think it still is steel, obviously. I don't know if it's a different kind of steel, but it just looks different. And yeah, just the design elements look very different. But it's just this nice little feature because you have certain design elements on the driver's side, on this side of the speedometer. Then on the other side there, you have different design elements on this part of the dash, and then further down over on the passenger side, you have different design elements. But one other thing I want to mention is, it's just kind of cool to see how Chevy and Ford were really going at it with the design of their cars and everything, because this also has very intricate design, just like the Ford Fairlane and some of the Ford cars. But yeah, this is just a stunning car. And then you look at the paneling over there. I don't know, this car I think is not 100% OEM, so I don't know what's OEM in this car or not. But I just look at the lower part of the door. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to guess that's not OEM. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know. I'm going to guess that maybe the owner replaced the seats and that these aren't the original seats and they were put in here just to make it look comfortable. This is kind of your straight up street rod kind of car. I'm guessing this is kind of a street rod, which is why you have the plush seats over here and you have kind of the plush side the plush sides on the paneling here. But anyway, a stunning car. So look at that. You know what's funny? Look at the doors on the hood. I don't know why it reminds me of a McLaren. It reminds me of the butterfly doors on a McLaren. It's just so weird. I kind of wonder. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say was are some of the exotic cars somehow influenced by the classics? It's a bold statement to make. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm just getting excited. But look at those doors. Those doors, the doors on that hood are so cool. And I don't think I've ever seen this. I've seen the doors open up like that on different cars. I mean, what I mean like that, I mean just kind of similar on the Model A's and Model T's, but I haven't seen them open up this dramatically like that. I kind of wonder if maybe the owner did something with this. I don't know, but that is so cool how they open up. And look at this. Yeah, I don't think this is OEM. Look at the. Check out those doors. Check out, they got the handle on there, so it's almost like an actual passenger door, but it's not. It's to the hood. It's to the engine. Look at that engine. Of course, the engine is absolutely beautiful, simplistic and gorgeous. So this looks like almost like I'm not sure if it's not a matte white, but it looks like this paint is a little bit different. Then this looks a little bit more metallic. Maybe that's just the way the sun is flickering off. I think it's actually more the way the sun's flickering off the that part of the car. But let's kind of pan in here. Let's look at the interior. My goodness, look at the back. Look at how much room there is in the back of this car. Stunning. And then this is kind of what I was talking about, in previous videos, where just the dash, the cars in the 70s, I think, late 60s and 70s, at least that Mustang back there the dash is very different. You have your stainless steel on here. It's straight across. It's not recessed. It's not meant to maybe make it look bigger or smaller. It's just all about the quality of the materials. And one other thing, does look a little different. Look, notice on the dash you kind of have that gold. You have the gold accents on there. You have the bottom part. You have this oval gold in the gauges. I have never seen that before in any classic car. That is different. It just goes to show that every single time I go to these events, I see something different. This car is especially made for Randy Camp. That is so cool. So look at the nameplate info on here. I just love that. You know, yeah, a lot of, when it comes to exotic cars, I typically recall seeing nameplate data kind of on the inside of the cars. This is right on the outside. That is so cool. I love that. Again, let's pan back out here. This is a stunner. So this is a Chevy Deluxe Master. This comes from somewhere in the 30s, 35, 37, 38 are years that stick out. I don't know what year this is, but this is a Chevy Deluxe Master. And I just want to, this is a stunning car to look at. I don't really have too many other words for this car. It's street rotted out, but it's beautiful. Love it. Check out this Studebaker. Look at that color. You know what I love about Studebaker is the design of this car looks so different from the Fords and the Chevys. Like, it definitely has its own unique design. And the little that I recall about the Studebaker history is that they did try to make cars that, you know, were very well performing. A reason why I say that, because I recall reading something like in Nevada, they were trying to make these patrol cars, and the Studebakers outran everything. So this has to be one of the most stunning dashes I've ever seen. I mean, I love how the light blue goes with the some of the steel elements, the silver and the steel. And then, you know, we have seen this before. So you have this gauge panel that's lowered. Like, a lot of the cars have the gauge panel a little bit higher. So the gauge panel is a little bit lower on this. It's kind of recessed behind right directly behind the steering wheel. I kind of wonder if it makes it a little harder to see, but it looks beautiful. Then you have like the lights over there. You have that little, let's see if you can see it there. Yeah, the two green lights, the red light, and then that check mark. I'm not sure what that is, but it's just a cool little element about this car. It's pan back out here. Again, I just love that silver. So Studebaker has incredible attention. Well, I was gonna say attention to detail, but the quality of materials. I just love the materials of this car. And then you look down there, just kind of at the paneling, or just some of the like where the radio is basically. It's kind of recessed back a little bit. And then the seats look so comfortable. So this car just kind of, I think the elements I can hear of just luxury and style. I'm showing that a Cadillac is not a curtain skirt. Beep, 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 'cause I'm a beep, beep, beep. No.
time when we're gonna stop it. All right, you guys got your orange tickets? How about we let one of the kids pull one of these out? How about that? Oh. That's all right. All right, here we go. So, two. Orange ticket. All right, one more time. 632-000-632. No? Zero 619. Bucket of car cleaning due. $619. There we go. They're ready for what? 29 days now. All right, two more. All right, 602-000-602. We all like our old cars, don't we? Thank you for coming, my friends.
That dash is amazing. And you know, I'm kind of rushing a little bit. I don't want to,
One more
but
bucket.
I do want to talk a little bit about this dash here. This is kind of something different I haven't seen. I haven't seen too many Dodges, and you can see the different design elements on this Dodge here. You know, look at how the dash, how you have the dash layout, and you have the really old font. It might be hard to see. I wonder if I could pan in on it. I'm gonna try to pan in a little bit more. Yeah, can you see that font? That definitely looks like a very, very older style of font there. But yeah, this dash is absolutely stunning, and I kind of like also the speedometer. So basically, you kind of have that, I don't call it molding, but you kind of have that housing, for lack of a better term, where the gauge cluster is housed, but then the speedometer kind of like sticks out a little bit, so it ovals out over the top. So that's kind of a little feature I haven't seen, at least too often, in other cars. And you have a glove compartment over there, and yeah, this is definitely something different that I haven't seen. And then, you know, this again, the steering wheel is kind of different too. That last one of the cars earlier, you had that concentric circle inside the steering wheel. This one you kind of have just a full-time power steering there. Interesting. So yeah, this is a very unique and interesting car here. So this is a Dodge Royal, and this car basically came out around the 50s, I think. 56 and 57 are kind of prominent years for this car. I'm gonna pan back out. This sounds kind of, I just want to get this a better angle of this car. So yeah, maybe that's a little better. Oh gosh, yeah, this car is stunning. So this is the Dodge Royal. Again, this car roughly around the mid to late 50s basically, but I just love the color of this. The color of this car is absolutely stunning. Let's look at the front here. So I just love looking at the front of these cars. Again, I just love how the lights are very simplistic and looking straight at you. I just think there's something more imposing and something more special about how the lights are back then than how they are now. Although, again, maybe the design elements are changing and it's cycling back to maybe where we're going to see the lights look like these now. Who knows? You never know. So I hate to say I'm in a bit of a hurry because I'm actually going to Six Flags Great Adventure today. So I'm gonna have to get these cars pretty quick. Oh, good. Wow. Oh, is that this car here? Oh my God. Oh yes. That's awesome. No way. Oh my God. Oh wow. Flames, baby. We got flames. That was awesome. Oh, I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, look at that. Look at this car. Oh my goodness. Nope, I've never. Wow. Just wow. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? That is insane. That is insane. All right. So that's a Willys. It's too bad I didn't get oh wow. Okay, I actually have to get out of here now, so I'm just gonna get these cars real quick. Oh my God, that is beautiful. Look at that. That's a Fairlane, Ford Fairlane. My goodness, this is gorgeous. Yep, I'm gonna have to go and get the. Let me pan out a little bit. I want to get this whole car. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's beautiful. God, look at that. Let's look at the inside of this car real quick. Oh, very nice. And this is kind of different with the dash. This time you have 3 of the gauges that kind of oval upward. You know, so basically the dash housing kind of has this oval. It's not this rectangular dash housing on there. And then you have the Ford written on the passenger side over there. And then look at the, again, very similar to I think an earlier Fairlane we saw. You kind of have that multi design there. So you kind of have the flat beige on there. When I say flat, I mean just like the plain beige without any kind of details. And then the bottom part of it is separated by the kind of separated by that paneling over there, the darker paneling. You kind of have some rectangular design on there. We saw this earlier. Look at this. This is absolutely stunning. Look at that purple. My goodness. Let's pan up over here. Let's see this. So we got pictures on here. So what does that say? Really, hon? I won't have to do much to this one. God, this car, look at that color. Look at the, also notice on the color here, you kind of have it, it's kind of sparkling on here. The camera gets in the way, but you see the kind of the glitter in the paint. So I think that also makes this look more extravagant. And then look at the exhaust on this. God, this is absolutely gorgeous, man. This is the Ford Model A. Look at that. My God, I just love that purple. Is that a special paint on it? Because it has a glitter on it or something. I wasn't sure if it's a special kind of paint or something.
Emron.
Huh?
Emron.
Emron? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's an Emron paint on there. God, this is beautiful. I just love this car. Is so freaking imposing. This is one nasty street rod. Let's look inside here. Oh, that dash! Look at that. Look at the gauge cluster there. This is what I love. See, look at the metallic. Look at kind of the metallic. I can't even talk, but the the metal kind of around the outside of the gauge itself. That's kind of what I love. It's the attention to detail. And look at that purple. It's so beautiful. And even check out I think the owner might have did that. Look at the brake and gas pedals there. You got the purple on there. But oh God, what a beautiful car. We got a ranch wagon over here. Look at this. So this is gonna be the last car that I'm gonna get here. So I'm just gonna pan around over here and I'm gonna do my outro because I think it's about time to leave. Again, I'm going to Six Flags today, so I gotta drive, but this is beautiful. Look at that. A Fairlane, another Fairlane. So I'm gonna have to get the inside of this. Let's do that real quick. Oh, I can't. Oh, is the window open on the other side? Look at this interior. So yeah, look at the attention to detail. So again, this kind of, hey, is that OEM? Is that door OEM? Okay, so you did something, okay.
To my own design.
Okay, oh, all right, that explains it. I was gonna say, because, basically Henry Ford's company was very, kind of streamlined. So I would have been surprised if they just designed that door. So I think everything in this car is kind of as a individual design. But look at that. I love the attention to detail design. Look at the stainless steel, the paneling as it runs on the door panel. Look at that, and then the door handle too. That's just stunning to look at. And then you look at the gauge. Then you look at the gauge cluster here, and then look at that stick. This thing is mean. So this is a very, very mean looking car, mean looking dash. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. So that was so cool. I think what I really liked about this particular event is that I really got to spend a lot more time with the owners and talk with the owners. Again, the last event that I went to, the one in Rockville, that was amazing too. But again, I had a different objective there. I was trying to get each and every car, which was incredibly daunting, but it was worth it because I got a lot of great footage of a lot of awesome cars. This one, I just took my time and I spent more time with the owners, even though I was kind of short on time because I'm about to go to Six Flags after this. So one other thing I want to point out is this diner. This is a really, really cool diner that I really want to go and eat at sometime. Actually, my mom and I are thinking of coming to this tomorrow because the owners are really cool, and they were talking about how basically you just basically get enough food. So they really stressed that this place, it's all about the I would say all about, but one major facet of this diner is that they give you a lot of food, and they said basically that the to-go boxes are not for decoration. So I always take food to go. I always like to have food. Basically, I like to have I never like to eat a full meal. What I mean by that is I don't, typically you'll get a serving. I won't finish all of it. I'll finish some of it and take the rest to go. I think what's good about this place is that, I could eat some of my food and then I might have servings left over for maybe like breakfast, lunch, and dinner or something. And that's good. I think you get more bang for your buck that way. So I kind of panic because I want to get, I think it's a Greek flag, the American flag, obviously, and the Greek flag. But this is definitely a place that I want to check out, and I also would recommend to others to check out too. So this is called the 50s Diner, A Taste of the Past, and it's off, I believe it's at Route 50. But the reason why I recommend it is because it got a lot of positive reviews. It got an incredible amount of positive reviews. And at least from my talking to the owners, they seem like very cool people too. So, I haven't had the food here yet. I'm anxious to try it. But, I think it's worth, coming out and give this place a try. But in any case, hey, this is a great event. A lot of cool cars to see here. A lot of exciting things here. I'm going to move out of the way here. This guy wants to come in. But anyway, that freaking fire shooting from what was that, a freaking Willys with fire shooting, that flame throwing exhaust. I've never seen that before. So all right, I'm gonna stop this real quick. But anyway, the last thing I want to say is that, even though I come to an event like this, which is definitely a lot smaller than the Rockville one, which is definitely a lot larger and a lot more well known, is that every single event that I go to, you just see something different and something unique. Like, I've never seen a freaking fire shooting Willys before, right? In any of the events I've been to, I've never seen that. So, I'm really glad that I went to this. And there were some really cool people here. And, to those of you that bought your cars, thank you very much. And also thank you for allowing me to get footage of the cars, that others can see and appreciate. So it's something I've really grown to love doing, and everything's become a hobby of mine. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, if you guys like the channel, or rather like the channel also, but like the video, go ahead, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. It may not seem like much, but I actually do want to kind of pan around this place, because this is kind of cool. I just love those flags up there. That's so cool looking. And check out this. What really drew my attention was this was the street light here. That's so cool. I love how they designed that over here. So you have the street light here. I'm gonna pair on here. This is straight up old school. Another street light over here. You got the open sign. And yeah, let me see. So, I'm not gonna record inside yet, obviously. I just love that. That's so cool. But we pan up on the sign. So yeah, so I think my mom and I are gonna come here tomorrow, and I'll see if I can get some footage inside, if they let me or not. But this is such a cool looking place, and I'm definitely excited to try this place out.